Hello everyone, welcome back to Review and Rate. Today, we're entering into a world of snowy areas and strong leaders. That's right, we're going to escape a helicopter and keep climbing high places to talk about Rise of the Tomb Raider, a game developed by Crystal Dynamics and released in 2015. If you're a fan of intense action, exploration, and powerful narratives, you won't want to miss this review. Now, let's take down these soldiers and get ready to enter the world of Rise of the Tomb Raider. The gameplay of Rise of the Tomb Raider is amazing and a significant improvement over the previous game. It plays very similarly to its predecessor, but enhances nearly every aspect of the experience. Like the previous game, it features a semi-open world design where you fast travel between large areas, primarily through campsites. These camps allow you to upgrade skills, weapons, and various abilities. Collectibles are once again scattered throughout the world, including documents that are fully voiced by their respective writers, along with many other types of hidden items. The optional challenge tomes also return, rewarding you for solving environmental puzzles just like in the previous game. The game continues to include intense escape sequences where Lara must survive dangerous situations, and these moments are some of the most exciting parts of the experience. One thing I still didn't like is that much like the previous game, crouching is handled automatically. This can be frustrating during stealth sections or when taking cover, since Lara sometimes has to crouch on her own to avoid detection or enemy attacks. However, one improvement I really appreciated is that unlike the previous game, you can now run manually. You no longer have to move at a slow pace while exploring, which makes traversal feel much smoother and more responsive. There are also several other gameplay improvements. For example, you can craft items during combat, allowing you to quickly create things like explosive arrows and immediately use them against enemies without worrying about running out. As I mentioned earlier, camps are used for upgrading, and the upgrade system in Rise of the Tomb Raider is far better than in the previous game. There are many more skills, abilities, and weapon upgrades to unlock, giving you much greater freedom in how you develop Lara. The game also offers a wide variety of weapons, including pistols, shotguns, rifles, and bows, along with upgrades for Lara's climbing axe that make it more effective in combat. You can even equip silencers for pistols and rifles, making stealth much more effective. Almost every weapon can be used while remaining undetected, with the exception of shotguns, which are designed purely for direct combat. There are also several different types of arrows. These include armor-piercing arrows, which are unlocked near the end of the game, fire arrows, toxic arrows that can eliminate multiple enemies standing close together, and explosive arrows that essentially function like miniature rocket launchers, killing enemies depending on when they are hit and the type of armor they are wearing. The game also introduces climbing arrows, which I thought were a really cool addition. They make climbing feel much more unique and add another layer to the exploration mechanics. The game offers 5 different difficulty settings, all of which are fun to try, and I played through each one. Depending on the difficulty you choose, Lara can automatically regenerate health, while tougher difficulties place greater emphasis on healing with crafted resources. This makes survival feel much more dependent on gathering materials throughout the world. Stealth has also been expanded with many more ways to distract enemies. You can throw glass bottles and cans, use radios dropped by enemy soldiers, or even fire an arrow nearby to lure enemies toward the sound. These distractions create opportunities to deal with enemies in creative ways, whether you want to eliminate them quietly or simply have some fun experimenting with their behavior. Just like in the previous game, the enemy AI often acts like complete morons, which can be hilarious. While it sometimes makes them seem less intelligent, it also leads to some funny situations, especially when you experiment with different tactics against them. You can also purchase weapons and gear using coins collected throughout the world, and there are various optional challenges that reward you upon completion. Each challenge offers something different, making them enjoyable to complete. Alongside the main story, you can help people throughout the world by completing side missions. These missions are marked separately from the main objectives, making them easy to distinguish when using survival instincts. Exploration is one of the game's strongest aspects. Not only can you collect treasures, resources, and hunt animals, but you can also study ancient artifacts written in different languages. As you improve your understanding of these languages, you're able to translate more inscriptions, unlocking new abilities and rewards. I thought this was a really cool progression system. Climbing has also been greatly improved. You can swing across ropes, perform double jumps between walls, and use a grappling hook to swing across gaps or quickly climb to higher ledges after falling. These additions make traversal much more enjoyable and are another noticeable improvement over the previous game. Unlike the previous game, where you could only rely on campsites and autosaves, Rise of the Tomb Raider allows you to save manually. This is a huge quality of life improvement, as it prevents you from having to replay large sections whenever you die. The puzzles are also better than those in the previous game. They require more careful thinking, and I genuinely enjoyed figuring each one out. You even receive a combat knife that is used during certain puzzles, such as cutting ropes at the right moment to progress. As for the enemies, most of them are similar to those in the previous game, although they have different appearances and armor since you're fighting Trinity this time. One welcome addition is a flamethrower enemy, who can only be defeated by shooting the fuel tank on his back, making encounters with him more strategic and memorable. Just like in the previous game, you eventually face supernatural enemies. This time they are known as the Deathless, who are very similar to the Storm Guards from the previous game. And just like how I felt about the Storm Guards, I found the Deathless to be the weaker enemy type, as they simply weren't as interesting to fight as the regular Trinity soldiers. There's even a section near the end of the game where you can wipe out groups of Deathless using a massive machine that launches flaming rocks. It creates a really fun sequence and helps make encounters with these otherwise less interesting enemies much more enjoyable. Early in the game, you also have to escape from and eventually kill a bear, which is a really exciting moment. Along with the other wild animals you encounter throughout the game, it adds more variety to an experience that is already packed with things to do. Since I enjoy stealth gameplay, I especially like the sections where you infiltrate Trinity bases and silently eliminate soldiers. One of my favorite moments is when enemy soldiers are actively searching for you while you're hiding underwater. Taking them down from beneath the surface was incredibly satisfying, especially after unlocking the ability to breathe underwater, which made that entire section even more enjoyable. As you continue upgrading Lara's skills, you eventually unlock the ability to place traps on defeated enemies. When another soldier comes over to investigate the body, the trap releases toxic gas that instantly kills them. It's a fun mechanic that opens up even more creative stealth opportunities. What makes the stealth so enjoyable isn't just the enemy reactions, whether they're talking to each other or responding to the chaos you create, but also the wide variety of takedown animations. Whether performed during stealth or in open combat, these takedowns are incredibly satisfying to watch. Finally, there's a final boss fight, which is much better than the one in the previous game and offers a far greater challenge. The battle has you fighting against a helicopter, Trinity soldiers, and the Deathless before finally facing Constantine himself in an unarmed fight. It was a really enjoyable finale, and I had a great time replaying it on different difficulty settings because of how challenging it was. Now let's talk about the story. The story of Rise of the Tomb Raider is just like the previous game, really amazing. I really enjoyed Lara's story, especially after everything she went through in the previous game. Now that she has become a true survivor, I liked seeing her continue her father's work by uncovering the mysteries he dedicated his life to before his death. The new characters you meet along the way, particularly Jacob and Sophia, are also interesting. They are introduced as leaders who are determined to protect their people from Trinity, and they both play important roles throughout the adventure. I also like that the game takes place in Siberia. It gives us an entirely new setting that feels fresh and very different from the island in the previous game. The villains, Anna and Constantine, are also excellent. I enjoyed how each of them approaches situations differently while serving as important leaders within Trinity. To summarize, after surviving the events on Yamatai, Lara Croft becomes determined to prove that the supernatural is real, believing that her late father, Richard Croft, had been right all along. The game opens with Lara exploring the Prophet's tomb in Syria, where she discovers evidence that the Prophet's legends may be true. Her expedition is interrupted by Trinity, a powerful secret organization searching for the same secrets, forcing Lara to escape before following the trail to Siberia. Throughout the story, flashbacks reveal Lara's childhood with her father. Richard encouraged her curiosity and passion for exploration, but his obsession with ancient myths eventually destroyed his reputation. Ridiculed by the academic world and abandoned by many around him, he ultimately took his own life. Lara's determination to uncover the truth is driven not only by her love for him, but also by her desire to restore his legacy. In Siberia, Lara searches for the hidden city of Katesh, where the Prophet is believed to have hidden the Divine Source, an artifact capable of granting immortality. Along the way, she survives the harsh wilderness, Trinity attacks, and dangerous ancient ruins before meeting the Remnant, descendants of the Prophet's followers. Their leader, Jacob, repeatedly comes to Lara's aid and gradually earns her trust.
I can help them, Jacob.
Will you do this for us? Or for that which you seek?
Right now, they're one and the same.
At the same time, Trinity's ruthless commander, Constantine, relentlessly hunts both Lara and the Remnant.
Go easy. Go easy. Don't fear the suffering. Our goal is within reach, but we must be vigilant. If we succeed here, a new world awaits. One of our own making.
One of the biggest twists in the story comes when Lara discovers that her stepmother Anna has secretly been working with Trinity. Although Anna claims she genuinely cared for both Lara and Richard, she ultimately chose to ally herself with Trinity in hopes of using the Divine Source to cure her terminal illness. This betrayal hits Lara especially hard because Anna was one of the few family members she had left.
You... No. You're with them! I can't believe this. You can't! Before it's too late! It was too late the moment you betrayed my family! I'm getting the Atlas, Anna!
Near the end of the journey, Lara learns that Jacob is actually the Prophet himself, kept alive for centuries by the Divine Source. Rather than using immortality for personal gain, he has spent generations protecting the artifact from those who would abuse its power. Trinity launches a full-scale assault on Katesh, resulting in a massive battle throughout the hidden city. During the chaos, Jacob sacrifices himself to give Lara the opportunity to stop Trinity, while Lara defeats Constantine once and for all. In the final moments, Jacob asks Lara to destroy the Divine Source despite everything her father sacrificed in his search for it. Realizing that no one should possess such power, Lara destroys the artifact, allowing Jacob to finally die in peace. Anna escapes with Lara but is immediately executed by Trinity for her failure. Having accepted that some discoveries are simply too dangerous to preserve, Lara leaves Siberia forever changed, dedicating herself not only to uncovering history, but also to protecting it from those who would misuse it. Now let's talk about the graphics. The graphics of Rise of the Tomb Raider are great and improve upon the previous game in many ways. The environments are absolutely beautiful. Since much of the game takes place in snowy mountains and dense forests, you can really appreciate the amount of detail that went into creating these locations. Whether it's watching snow fall, seeing Lara's footprints left behind in the snow, the realistic lighting, or the incredible atmosphere, the visuals are consistently stunning. As for the character models, the quality varies. Some characters look excellent, while others are less impressive. However, Lara's character model looks fantastic. Whenever the camera zooms in on her face during cutscenes, you can clearly see the level of detail put into her appearance. Her facial expressions and animations are also very well done, and I personally prefer this version of Lara over the one from the previous game. I also like how the game visually shows the environment affecting her, whether she's soaking wet after swimming or covered in falling snow. Even with all these improvements, the visuals do show their age in certain areas. If you look closely at objects, walls, and some textures, you can tell the game isn't as modern as today's releases. There are also moments where character animations can look strange. For example, enemies sometimes perform standing animations even when they aren't actually standing, which looks awkward and is an issue that was also present in the previous game. Despite these minor issues, Rise of the Tomb Raider still holds up extremely well visually, and even though some aspects look a little dated, it's still a beautiful game. Now let's talk about the sound. The sound design in Rise of the Tomb Raider is absolutely excellent. The voice acting is one of the game's strongest aspects, as every character delivers a great performance, especially Lara. Whether she's having conversations with other characters, fighting enemies, or trying to survive dangerous situations, her voice actor delivers an incredible performance. It's one of the main reasons the story feels so immersive and helps pull you into Lara's journey. I know this is not part of the main story, but I also want to mention how terrifying the sound of the game's creepy creatures are. Even though this is primarily an action game, the audio design makes encounters with these creatures feel like they belong in a horror game. The environmental audio is also fantastic. From the snowy mountains and forests to the hidden tombs, every location has its own atmosphere through its sound design. Even moments of complete silence are effective, as they make you feel like you are truly exploring these environments yourself. The combat audio is equally impressive. The sounds of explosions, arrows flying through the air, weapons firing, and grenades going off all feel powerful and impactful. They make every battle feel intense and help create the feeling that you are actually in the middle of a dangerous fight. Finally, the music is easily the best part of the audio design. The tracks used during combat create a strong sense of intensity and make battles feel even more exciting. Just like the previous games, hearing the Tomb Raider theme during the most dramatic moments, whether Lara is escaping a dangerous situation or experiencing an emotional scene, is absolutely phenomenal. Now let's move on to the final section, which is replayability. When it comes to replayability, Rise of the Tomb Raider not only provides more options than the previous game, but also offers more than enough content to keep you playing for many hours, which is exactly what happened with me. The game includes several DLC expansions, starting with Baba Yaga, the Temple of the Witch, where you uncover the secrets behind a mysterious witch and eventually face her yourself. There is also Blood Ties, which allows you to explore Croft Manor and discover more about Lara's family history. This DLC even includes a mode called Lara's Nightmare, where you fight terrifying creatures inside Croft Manor, creating a surprisingly creepy and enjoyable experience. Another DLC is called Darkness, where you investigate the secrets of an abandoned Soviet base filled with deadly creatures. You discover what happened there, fight through the dark and frightening environment, and attempt to escape after completing your mission. There's also Endurance, a survival mode where you must manage resources such as worms and food while trying to stay alive long enough to complete your objective and escape. This mode can be played either alone or with another player, adding even more replay value. The game also includes Remnant Resistance, which allows you to create your own custom missions and play through different scenarios with various objectives and challenges. This gives you more freedom to experiment and create your own experiences. Beyond the additional mods, the game also allows you to replay chapters, including Elite mode, which increases the challenge, and Score Attack, where you replay levels while trying to achieve higher scores and complete additional objectives. Finally, after completing the story, you can continue exploring the world and collect anything you may have missed during your first playthrough. This includes finding all collectibles, upgrading every weapon and skill, and completing all side missions until you achieve 100% completion, which is exactly what I did. Even after finishing the story, enemies continue to appear throughout the world, allowing you to test your upgraded abilities and continue enjoying the combat. Now let's summarize everything with my overall impression. Rise of the Tomb Raider delivers fantastic gameplay, an amazing story, great visuals, excellent sound design, and more than enough replayability to keep you coming back for more. In my opinion, this is the best Tomb Raider game, even though I haven't played the entries released before the 2013 reboot. I especially love this Survivor Trilogy, and the fact that I have replayed this game multiple times proves just how much I enjoyed it and how highly I rank it compared to the other games in the series. Because of all these improvements, Rise of the Tomb Raider truly deserves a higher score than the previous game. It improves upon nearly every aspect, making it a better overall experience in almost every way. So here it is. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more insightful review videos. Feel free to share your thoughts on whether the points I've raised resonate with you or if you have a different perspective, and leave your suggestions in the comments about which game you'd like to see reviewed next. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and thank you all for watching.